Hey, gamers and basement dwellers. This is Basement Banter, Episode 1, January 3rd, 2022. Now, I am a stickler for words myself, something published author, like to think of myself as something of a wordsmith. I'm one of these people that words mean what they mean. So banter really means kind of exchanging back and forth. And in this first episode, it's just me. So, hey, John, where's the banter? Well, I just got off Discord with our co-host, who will begin co-hosting next week for number 2. So I appreciate your patience, just putting up with it just this 1 week. It's called Basement Banter, but there's not really anybody here for me to banter with. So we'll get that to you next week. But we have a lot to go through this week. I'm going to try to go through it quickly. So the purpose of Basement Banter is to cover the stuff happening in the Game Shop's basement at gameshopsbasement.com, our gaming Discord community. And the big item this past week has been the wedding bells. So in the Wednesday afternoon game, Wednesday afternoon American time, by default I'm going to kind of talk in American time because I live here in the mighty city of St. Louis. So we've got players in Ireland and Australia and all sorts of places, but I'm going to kind of default to American Central Time. But Wednesday afternoon, there's a group with a certain elf, multi-classed knowledge cleric and scribe mage, and several months ago, he pulled the knight card from a deck of many things and got a 4th level fighter that matches your species, matches your alignment, fanatically loyal and everything. So he created 4th level fighter, decided to make her female, and for type of fighter, she's an Eldritch Knight fighter, or back in my day, previous editions of D&D, we used to call that a fighter mage. But, 5th edition version of that's an Eldritch Knight fighter. So, yes, and the joke has been that he used to kind of say that she's not a real character. Not a real person. Yeah, she's not a real person. And since in order to level her up, he had to share XP with her, for a long time, she was like the original 4th level. That she came with her sword. She's her original 4th level fighting, like she came out of the creation of the deck of many things magic. And people used to tease him and kind of razz him about, aren't you ever going to let her level? And he's like, no, I need all my XP for me. I need to get certain goals done, then we'll let her level. So he used to joke about how she's not a person. People used to tease her or tease him about how his NPC follower, you just treat her like trash. Well, we just finished a story arc this week. And this story arc was finished in front of the goddess Ordana. In the Dungeons & Dragons aura, Ordana is like Mystara's version of Mother Earth or Gaia or Mother Nature or something like that. And so she goes ahead and gives each party member something that she as a NPC goddess in the universe and me as the DM think that the character would really like, that would kind of fit Ordana's sphere, as the goddess of nature and everything. There was an artificer in the group who had a mechanical construct that was kind of permanently destroyed, and Mother Nature, of course, is not going to deal with mechanical things, so Mother Nature just gave her a living creature to replace it, and stuff like that. So it had to. So the end of story arc quest rewards were being given out, but they had to stay on the theme of Mother Nature. And so all the player characters got something. And then, of course, one of the things I say a lot, if you've had me DM for you, is that NPCs don't know they're NPCs. NPCs are members of the world in the story also. So it got to be the NPC's turn. The fighter who was generated from a deck of many things and just follows Arvon around. And so her desire was to be married to Arvon. So it plot twist this NPC that has been pushed off to the side, but I'd noticed that Arvon was starting to care about her more and more, because he's hanging back. He's like this knowledge cleric and this scribe mage, and he's and she's the Eldritch Knight fighter, so he's kind of using her as a tank most of the time. And it's the tanks take a beating, and so she would go down sometimes, and he was actually starting to act concerned. And so as the DM, I was starting to think of, storyteller, I'm starting to think that there might be a love story here. So there was a wedding, and and so Arvon's player, he puts it on his sheet, and he's like, okay, married in front of a god. I'm like, that's right, so no cheating now. So yeah, we had a wedding in a D&D game, player character married a non-player character. And then also this week we had a Christmas holiday event on New Year's Eve, Rift Psycho Santa. And I just had a Discord right as I was starting to record this. It looks like it was a one-shot with the potential that Rifts could take off. Rifts is amazing. Rifts started in 1990 and from Palladium Games. And it lately, I think maybe 2016, 2017, something like that, Palladium signed licensing agreements so that Savage Worlds can make product for it. So they call that Savage Rifts. So we're kind of running Savage Rifts. It's Rifts with Savage Worlds game engine. And apparently that's going to be maybe a thing every other Friday now. So we'll see. Look for that at GameShopsBasement.com real soon. Then there are, let's see, what else we got? Oh, yep, Shadowrun. There's people looking for Shadowrun groups. So if you come to our Discord, there's people looking for Shadowrun if that's your thing. We also changed. I have my little list here of things. We also changed for 2022. Instead of doing session zeros, we're still doing them, but we're going to call them something else. We're going to call them table forming meetings, because sometimes people would come to a session zero and they're really like, well, I thought I was going to play. I thought I was going to kind of get like a free game. And I'm like, well, session zero is really kind of a meeting about having a game. So to kind of have our verbiage match proper mental picture or expectations better, we're calling them table forming meetings for 2022. We also have a regular schedule of table forming meetings. And speaking of schedules, if you go to GameShopsBasement.com, last year in 2021, I had a schedule that was like coded right there on the website. It was a pain in the butt to update, and I didn't always get it updated. Now, if you go to GameShopsBasement.com, there is a link that will take you to a spreadsheet that I can just update in real time, and it's much, much easier. So if you're looking for table forming meetings, or you want to check out open time slots, looking for tables, public and private, GameShopsBasement.com, and there is a link there to our spreadsheet. Let's see, we got table forming meetings, the wedding, Rift's Christmas, Shadowrun, and two more things. Then we have opened up our Associate Game Master program. For those of you who are familiar with the website, GameShopsBasement.com, up at the top, there's a banner ad, and that banner ad has an advertisement for the Learn to Pro GM program, which several people have gotten on board with, and it's kind of amazing how this whole professional GMing, I'm still kind of getting used to it. 9 months in, I'm revamping what I did in 2021 for 2022, and I'm still getting used to it. So what we're doing now in 2022 is we're revising the material. The material that we taught in 2021, you can still get that. It's at the top of the website, GameShopsBasement.com. It's still good. We want to make sure that we're updating things as we go along. So the Associate GM program, we are looking for a small number, because there's only 24 hours in a day. I can only do so much and work with so many people and DM so many games and spend time with my family and maybe sleep sometimes. But see the bags under my eyes. But anyway, we're looking for a small number of people with whom we're going to work with for free and in person to guinea pig test. Did I say guinea pig test? Our 2022 material for learning how to professional GM. So there is more demand now than ever for professional GMs. There's money to be made, and people are, they're looking for how to get started, what to do, how to deal with certain issues that come up, stuff like that. So we're the Game Shop's Basement is doing the Associate GM program. So there's information there on how to apply, and it's going to be pretty exciting to kind of spread out get more quality game masters out there in the world for this where D&D is gone or whatever. So what's coming for D&D in the future. So when I started playing D&D 39 years ago when I was 11 years old and now I'm 50, of course, yeah, even back then I dreamed of like the Matrix or the Lawnmower Man or just, Cyberpunk or just being able to jack into the D&D world. And, we're not quite there yet, but we still need Dungeon Masters. Still need, but anyway, I suppose even then you'd still need Dungeon Masters. It's just that they would program the world that everybody would experience. So the last item then is 6-week story arcs. So this should help us deal in 2022 with some issues that came up in 2021. There are a lot of people that want to do Game Shop's Basement. The schedule is getting crowded. If you go to GameShopsBasement.com, go to the schedule spreadsheet, there's something happening like every day. And so in order to help with getting people spaces at the table, also in order to help with an issue of, we love StartPlaying.games. I'm not dissing on StartPlaying.games. We wouldn't be functional without them. But StartPlaying.games does not have a DM-facing refund button. And so when things happen, like somebody misses a game and they didn't get themselves skipped, they didn't go to their player interface and get themselves skipped on StartPlaying.games, I guess that looks better. This kind of looks weird. What's he doing? What is he with his finger? Okay, I'm like clicking the mouse. Okay, so when someone, doesn't get themselves skipped and their card gets charged, and then they let me know, I want to help them with customer service and everything. Game Shop's Basement is all about customer service. I don't have a DM, so I do what I can. I usually end up giving people free games so that the math works out. But I don't at this time have a DM-facing refund button. StartPlaying.games has told me that they will have one soon, whatever soon means. This was, and just to give you perspective, this was several months ago. Now, we love StartPlaying.games, okay? I'm not saying this to diss on them. I would like to nudge them in a good direction, though, so that we can all give our customers better customer service. So we're going to, instead of doing indefinitely ongoing games, for 38 years, before this last year I went professional, for 38 years, I just DM these ongoing indefinite games week to week to week to week for years. And that's what I grew up doing. It's what I've always done. It's what all the gamers around me have always done. But for this professional GMing thing, we're going to go to 6-week story arcs. I'm going to tighten things up into 6-week story arcs. And people can sign up for like 6 weeks at a time. And what this will do is this will help with managed table space so that more people can get involved with Game Shop's Basement. More people can find seats at the table. And also, if somebody plans ahead that they're going to come for 6 weeks, or maybe they'll come for 4 and skip 1 and make that last one, or, come for 3 and skip 1 and come for the next 2 or whatever. If we think in 6-week story arcs, then I think that will help a little bit with people planning and maybe not getting their cards dinged for games that they're absent for. That's the hope anyway. That's kind of what we're hoping for. Fingers crossed. Yeah. So Game Shop's Basement 2022, and oh my, I've already talked for over 14 minutes. So lots of stuff happening. We'll see you next week, and next week it really will be Basement Banter because we'll have a co-host. Won't just be me. It'll be people talking back and forth. So Happy New Year, and may this year be great for both your real life and your gaming life. All right, we'll see you next week, and I'll see you in game.